Aircraft Safety Ground Operations and Servicing. Let's dive into the world of aircraft maintenance technicians, AMTs, and the crucial aspects of safety. So, aircraft maintenance technicians, or AMTs, do more than just fix planes. They also handle and operate them on the ground. They've got to be good at using the equipment that supports the planes on the ground. But hey, it's not just about knowing how to use the gear. It's about knowing how to do it safely. The stuff they handle and the equipment they use can get pretty tricky, and there's some real danger when moving planes around on the ground. That's why these technicians need to know all the safety steps for servicing planes, moving them on the ground, getting them ready to fly, and using the ground gear. This info we're giving here is like a safety guidebook for doing all that stuff, right? Now here's another thing. They're starting to talk about human stuff too. When people are fixing planes, their performance can get affected by all sorts of things. Like feeling super tired, being under pressure to finish quickly, feeling stressed, getting distracted, not communicating well, getting too used to things, or not having enough info. Technicians need to get how these human things can mess up their work and their safety while they're doing maintenance tasks. Understanding that is a big part of keeping everything running smoothly and safely. Moving on to shop safety. Okay, so when it comes to the shop, hangars, and where planes are parked, keeping everything clean is super important for safety and making sure maintenance runs smoothly. We're talking about having everything tidy and in order when working on planes. Now imagine there are different work shifts happening one after another. When a shift finishes up, they got to clean up after themselves. That means putting away their tools, toolboxes, stands, hoses, cords, hoists, basically everything they used for the job. There are signs around too, some warn about dangerous stuff or things that could be risky. Others show where you can find first aid kits or fire equipment. Inside the hangars, they've painted lanes for safety, like paths for walking and areas where you can't go. It's all about preventing accidents and keeping everyone safe. Safety is a team effort. But hey, it's especially up to the technicians and their bosses to look out for themselves and each other. Communication is key. If you see someone doing something unsafe, talk to them. Remind them about safety for their own sake and for everyone else around. We're all in this together, staying safe with electrical equipment. All right, when you're dealing with electrical stuff, there are some serious safety things to know. Electricity can be super harmful to the body. It can burn you really bad where it goes in and comes out, and it messes with your nervous system, which can be pretty dangerous. To handle electricity safely, technicians need to understand how it works, and most importantly, they got to have a healthy respect for its power. Using the right safety gear isn't just about feeling safe. It actually protects you. Things like rubber gloves, safety glasses, special mats, and other safety gear keep you physically safe and give you peace of mind. Now here's the thing. Fear and overconfidence can be troublemakers. Being scared is good to a certain extent. It keeps you cautious. But being too confident can lead to accidents. You gotta find that balance. Respect what electricity can do, but don't get too bold. People sometimes get hurt because they don't know enough. If you don't understand how electricity works, trying to handle it is a big no-no. And if someone feels overly confident and underestimates electricity's power, well, they might find out the hard way that it's not something to play around with. Safety first, always. Fire safety with electricity. Whenever electricity flows, it makes heat. More flow means more heat. If things get too hot, the coatings on wires can melt, causing them to short out. That creates even more flow and more heat. And guess what? Too much heat can melt metals, turn liquids into vapor, and even set flammable stuff on fire. To stop electrical fires, keep the area around electrical stuff clean and tidy. No unnecessary flammable stuff lying around. Also, make sure cords and wires aren't twisted or bent. They could get damaged. And don't let anyone walk over wires or run equipment over them. If wires inside a cord break, the rest handle more current, making them hotter than they should be. That's a fire risk. Check electrical gear often. If something's broken, fix or replace it before using it again. Safety first, always keep an eye on those wires and gear. Now let's touch on safety around compressed gases. All right, when you're dealing with compressed gases, it's like handling electricity. Keep it in control. Check this out for do's and don'ts. Figure shows a typical nitrogen bottle set. Now here's what you got to do. Check air hoses often for breaks or wear. Swap out any bad hoses right away. Keep those connections super tight, no leaks allowed. If there are oilers, make sure they're working well. The system needs water sumps to collect and drain water regularly. When spraying paint, filter the air to get rid of oil and water. Don't ever use compressed air to clean your hands or clothes, can cause serious infections. And keep that air away from other people. When you're not using air hoses, coil and store them properly. Now let's talk about handling aircraft tires. Big accidents happen here. Use gear like tire dollies to handle heavy tires. Always use tire cages when pumping air into aircraft tires. High pressure can be dangerous, so use pressure regulators to avoid overinflating tires. Remember, you don't need tire cages when adjusting pressure on tires already on the aircraft. Safety's the name of the game. Safety around hazardous materials. Okay, when it comes to handling hazardous stuff in the shop, those diamond labels are key. They're like quick guides. They tell you the risk level of the material in the container and what safety gear you should use. Now let's talk about those safety data sheets, SDSs. They used to be called Material Safety Data Sheets, MSDS. They're detailed breakdowns of the chemicals. You'll see a 4-color diamond on these sheets: red for flammability, yellow for reactivity, blue for health, and white for special hazards. Each color has a number from 0 to 4. 0 means low risk, 4 means super dangerous. The white section tells you specific hazards like RAD for radiation or CARC for carcinogens. If you see a W with a line through it, it means high reactivity with water. See figure high. These sheets give the nitty-gritty details of the chemicals, from formulas to what to do if someone comes into contact with them. Every sheet has the same info, but where you'll find it might differ depending on who made the SDS. These sheets are a must for a safe shop that meets the rules set by the safety folks at the U.S. Department of Labor Occupational Safety and Health Administration, OSHA. Safety first, always. Safety around machine tools. Now let's talk about the hazards that come with operating lathes, drill presses, grinders, and other machines in a shop. Drill press safety. Always wear eye protection. 2. Securely clamp all work. Set the proper revolutions per minute, RPM, for the material. 3. Don't let the spindle feed beyond its limit. 4. Stop the machine before adjusting or removing jammed work. 5. Clean the area when finished. Lathe safety. 1. Eye protection is a must. 2. Use sharp cutting tools. Allow the chuck to stop on its own. Don't stop it by hand pressure. Examine tools and work for defects before starting. 5. Don't set tools on the lathe. They could be thrown. Allow the work to stop before measuring. Milling machine safety. 1. Wear eye protection. Clean the workbed before starting. Secure the work to prevent movement during milling. Or choose the right tools. 5. Don't change the feed speed while working. Lower the table before moving under or away from the work. Ensure all clamps and bolts are clear under the arbor. Grinder safety. 1. Wear eye protection, even with a shield. Inspect the grinding wheel for defects. 3. Don't force grinding wheels onto the spindle, or check wheel flanges and compression washer. 5. Avoid standing in the arc of the grinding wheel. Welding safety. Welding is a task that demands special attention and designated areas. If welding on an aircraft is necessary, 1. Open fuel tanks and work on fuel systems are not permitted during welding. Painting is also not allowed. No aircraft should be within 35 feet of the welding operation. 4. Flammable material is strictly prohibited in the welding area. 5. Only qualified welders are allowed to perform the work. 6. The welding area must be roped off and placarded. Adequate fire extinguishing equipment must be present, with trained fire watches in the vicinity. The aircraft being welded must be in a towable condition, with a tug attached and the parking brakes released. If in a hangar, the hangar doors must be open. Flight line safety. Now let's talk about flight line safety, where being vigilant is key. Hearing protection. The flight lines, it's a noisy place and danger lurks in that noise. Fixing planes there gotta keep their eyes peeled. You've got noise coming from all sides. Planes, power units, fuel trucks, baggage gear, you name it. All that racket mixed together can mess up your hearing big time. But hey, there's help. You've got 2 kinds of hearing protectors, the ones you wear outside, like earmuffs or headphones, and the ones that fit inside your ear canal. They both work by lowering the noise that hits your eardrums, saving your hearing from taking a beating. When you're using noisy tools like drills or rivet guns, always slap on that hearing protection. Even a short burst of those high-frequency sounds can harm your hearing. And if you keep getting exposed, it'll just keep chipping away at your ability to hear. So protect those ears. They're pretty important. Foreign object damage, FOD. Foreign object damage, FOD, is when loose stuff messes up planes, gear, or people. Think broken runway bits, towels, wires, anything lying around. Keep areas clean, control tools, and have bins for used stuff to avoid FOD. Here's a biggie. Never leave tools near a turbine engine intake. Those engines can suck in loose stuff and shoot it out like a cannon. A good FOD program is crucial. It saves expensive engines, parts, and most importantly, lives. Safety's no joke. Safety around airplanes. When you're around planes, don't take chances, especially with propellers. Don't assume the pilot sees you, so stay where they can spot you. And watch out around turbine engines. They're risky zones. No smoking or flames near planes in action. Oh, and those fluids around planes, not good for your skin, so be careful. When using gear near planes, keep some space and make sure it's secure. Everything near planes needs to be stored right. Safety first, always. Safety around helicopters. Okay, different helicopters, different rules, to avoid messing up the chopper or getting hurt. Check those rotor blades. Are they level? It gives you more space when you're getting close. Make sure the pilot sees you as you approach. Don't carry anything tall near the blades. It could wreck them and hurt you. Stay away from the back of a single-rotor helicopter. That tail rotor's invisible when it's spinning. Don't walk around the tail. Go around the front instead. When securing rotors on certain helicopters, follow the manual. Doing it wrong might harm the bearings. Safety's key. Fire safety. All right, when you're fixing planes, there's a risk of fire. Sparks from tools, heat, flammable stuff, you name it. So, got to be ready. Know how fires start, how to stop them, and how to put them out. Everyone fixing planes needs to know this stuff, and bosses need to make sure they do. Practice makes perfect. If there's a fire, you got to be ready to handle it. Fire departments at airports can help train and set up safety plans for the hangars and shops. Safety's a team effort. Thanks for watching.